Taking bath in the sacred water body is such a great spiritual experience. Shankara, after completing that, comes out with all the sacred feeling and mood. Poor Shankara was able to give up everything. But that orthodoxy, that muddy, that upper caste, that did not leave him. So when Mahadeva, Vishwanatha comes down, Shankara sees and immediately all his sacred feeling went away. Gets so irritated, he looks at the disciples. Those disciples, what will they do? They just immediately acted like an arrow came out of the bow, jumped on Vishwanatha and said, get out, move out of the way, Master is coming. Scene must have been great. Then the Chandala, Vishwanatha, who came down in the form of Chandala, very gracefully looks and stares at the disciples first, and then looks into the eyes of the Shankara. Who should move? Body or consciousness? Body does not have anything great. This body and that body, both are same. Consciousness cannot move. It is always pure. Body is always impure. Consciousness is always pure. Because body is always impure, this body does not move for the sake of that body. Because consciousness is always pure, there is no question of moving. Should consciousness move or body move? Very beautifully he questions. But Shankara is an intelligent guy. Immediately he jumps out of his dharma, in which he was caught, falls flat at the feet of Chandala. If you can take me one step further than my understanding, if you can give one strong click, we don't care which community you are, who you are, we are ready to surrender. That is the intensity, attitude of Shankara. Because of that intensity, he just jumped out of that dharma, that samskara, fell flat and got out of that engram, expressed the ultimate, received the ultimate. Then Chandala disappears and appears as Vishwanatha, blesses Shankara. All people who hold on to some dharma, some integrity, will grow very fast. They will drop everything else. But going beyond that, jumping that, is the real strength or the spiritual courage, guts. Blessed are those who are directly asked to do the things which are not dharma, as per your understanding, by Guru. I am telling you, if your Guru says, do something which is not dharma as per you, and you do it, you are blessed. You are blessed. I still repent for not smoking when Yogi Ram Suratmar gave me the bidi. I still repent. But I missed it. I missed the chance. Now how many times I smoke, nothing can happen. That won't liberate me. Anyhow, I struggled myself. I can say, if I would have picked up the bidi from his hand that day and smoked, I can say at least I would have reduced 2 years of my struggle in my journey. 2 years struggle could have been sorted out in 2 seconds. I am very clear. I still repent for not picking up the bidi from Ram Suratmar when he gave. Maybe many of you may not know that incident. Let me describe. I am brought up from a very orthodox family. My grandfather, oh God, is a great inspiration for me, but highly orthodox. The extreme funny level of orthodoxy, you can't even talk about non-veg or alcohol or cigarette, BD in the house. Forget about, you can't even talk. Forget about having, you can't even talk. Even in the TV, some scenes coming, if some scenes come as if smoking, he will switch off the TV. And I was brought up by him. One day I was sitting in the Tiruvannamalai burial ground, Smashana, cremation ground, with Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar. Usually he sits there in the night time. Whenever I ask him, why do you sit here? He says, this is a calm place. Only dead people will not disturb us. He will be happily sitting. I went and sat. I used to enjoy his company. He's a chain smoker. I don't know what happened. One day, suddenly he picked up the BD from his mouth and stretched to me. My love for him and my parental conditioning, both were having war, literally. It is like Krishna got down from the chariot and picked up the wheel as a Sudarshana Chakra to kill Bhishma. Krishna is Guru, Bhishma is parental conditioning. Krishna picked up the Sudarshana Chakra. Come on, it is time. Unless I get down, the parental conditioning will not die. He is rolling. But Krishna has promised he will not take any weapon and fight in the war. Guru always promises he will not directly kill parental conditioning. That is why I always tell, get your parents' letter, concern letter and come. I cannot directly kill. It's a rule. A parental conditioning cannot be killed directly by master. I will not only play around. I can inspire you to come out of parental conditioning, but I cannot directly instigate. See the whole scene. Krishna could have just taken the Sudarshana and sent, it will have killed the Bhishma. No, he cannot. He has taken the vow. So he is taking the wheel of the chariot and goes. I can see exactly Krishna standing there. Instead of the chariot wheel with BD. And my Bhishma is struggling. And I neither moved my body front nor said no. Saying no too much, but moving the body and picking up too much. What to do? I was just frozen. But the BD is burning. Time is running. Time is running. See, not deciding is deciding not to decide. I was not deciding, but naturally it means deciding not to decide. Then the fire went and touched Ram Saratma's finger. He just dropped the BD. When the fire came near his finger, he dropped the BD. He just caught my ears, both ears. But fortunately I had such a deep surrender to him, and he was able to force me, and I am blessed he forced me. But still I missed for me not taking the decision voluntarily. He just caught my ears and blew the smoke from his mouth on my face. I don't know what happened. For 3 days, whatever was happening around me was soundless movie. In those days, the movies used to come. No sound, no volume. Just the scenes will go. Same way, soundless movie. Everything happening around me without background noise. I am seeing vehicles moving. Those days, only 1 or 2 vehicles will move inside Tiruvannamalai. Only cycles are the main 2 vehicles. Otherwise, few, that old, the bullet or moped, something you will call. Huh? Moped. It will create sound, whole village will hear. Dama, 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 dama. And those days, miners will have it. That tiger nail, big mustache, and this moped is the symbol of wealth and youth in Indian villages. Only those few miners will be having. all that tree. Brrr. It will create such a noise. I can see those people going but no noise. I can see temple aarti is happening but no bell sound. Everything was such peace. But even then, of course, after that never I smoked, not even once. But I repent for not picking up when he stretched his hand. Gladly jump beyond dharma. When master asks you, that is the best thing you will do for yourself and for your enlightenment. I can say only to ask you to do something which is not dharma as per you, master happens in your life. Because that is the only thing which you can't do it by yourself. See, what you think as dharma may not be dharma. Master is needed just for that. You see, for Ramakrishna, till the Savikalpa Samadhi, he did not needed Totaburi. But without Totaburi, Ramakrishna would have never become enlightened. I tell you, if you go as per some rule, you will reach all the benefits from that rule. But the last push is always a discretionary power gift. Gift by the master as a simple discretionary power, will. So Totaburi was needed to take Ramakrishna beyond dharma. What Totaburi says? He tells, cut the Kali. Sacrilegious. The most sacrilegious act. Especially a person like Ramakrishna who built his whole personality and life on Kali. He eats Kali, breathes Kali, sleeps Kali. If he wakes up Kali. I am not saying wakes up with Kali. No. He wakes up Kali. He breathes Kali. He eats Kali. He lives Kali. He is telling, cut Kali, Totaburi. But Ramakrishna had the guts. I tell you, master happens in your life just to tell you to do something which you think is not dharma. For other things you don't need master. All Totaburi did in Ramakrishna's life is making him do the most sacrilegious act. That's all. Only for that Totaburi was needed. For anything else you don't need Totaburi. When Ramakrishna did, he just became enlightened. If master happens in your life and asks you to do something which is you think is not dharma, understand, he is helping you exactly. He is now doing his avataric mission. Now your choice whether to take jump and get enlightened or not. If Ramakrishna says, no, I am not interested, leave me, no problem, Totaburi would have just left. But Ramakrishna would have missed it. Like I missed once when Ramsuratkumar gave. Of course, I worked on myself and then broke the parental conditioning. When I left the house, it broke. That is different. I still remember when I was sitting with the Naga Baba in Uttaragasi, who used to smoke marijuana continuously. He will, in his chilam pipe, he will put a copper coin. After smoking marijuana, he will empty that will become gold coin. I used to feel, will he not stretch his chilam to me? I missed already once with Ramsuratkumar. This time I should not miss. I will be just waiting. Once he stretched his hand, I just thought he is stretching towards me only. I stretched my hand to receive. He said, no, you already missed once. I was shocked. Something which has happened in Tiruvannamalai cremation ground so many years before, which nobody else knows except me and Ramsuratkumar, of course, and Ramsuratkumar's dog, his pet dog. Except we three, the guy who is sitting in Himalayas in Uttaragasi says, you already missed once. I am not stretching for you. I am emptying it. Don't miss. When master stretches his hand, don't miss. When he asks you to do something which you think is not right or dharma, catch it. You will just jump into enlightenment and higher consciousness, higher experience. Let me enter into today's sutra. This is the reason I always enter straight into sutra, never enters into question answer. If I enter into that, the chapter first chapter, first section, 15th Sutra. Mantra varnikameva cha giyate. Swami Gambhirananda translates as, and the very Brahman spoken of in the mantra is declared in the Brahmana. Swami Vireshwarananda translates as, moreover, that very Brahman which has been referred to in the mantra portion is sung in this Brahmana passage as the tail. Swami Shivananda says, moreover, that very Brahman which has been re-referred to in the mantra portion is sung, proclaimed in the Brahmana passage as Anandamaya. This is actually a discussion on Shastra Pramana. Some doubts are clarified. Sometimes the word self itself is used to denote the cosmic self and individual self. Same way, the verbal confusion, same word is used in a different place, should not make you think that Brahman is not source. Here, Vyasa is clarifying, wherever the words denoting existence is spoken, you should look as per the context and understand source is Brahman, cause is existence. For example, even in my own discourse you will see, when I say self, it's cosmic self. When I say self, it is individual self. Without video, it's very difficult to find out which self I am referring. Nowadays we started using capital letter S means cosmic self, small letter s means individual self. So don't create or get into this kind of doubts. Look at the context and understand source is existence. The sutra is more like a clarifying the Shastra doubts, how it is presented in scriptures. Now I am just seeing the stories and the words which I used are expressed about Dharma is working on many people's system. I am able to see the truths, sacred truths are working on many beings. I am feeling happy that whoever is letting those great truths work on them and transform their life. Great. Whether in Upanishads or Vedas or Brahmanas, the different words might have been used due to different reason. But understand, everything should be understood as per the context and final truth, scale in which you need to measure. The final truth is source is existence. That is the truth. So anywhere you have the disturbance or discrepancy, you are not able to make the meaning, understand this is the meaning you are supposed to arrive. This is the conclusion. So Vyasa Badarayana Vyasa puts an end to the verbal dictionary confusion. He ends the confusion once for all. He says, come on, stop all this nonsense. Whether it is a Veda, Aranyaka or Brahmana, wherever it is, this is the truth. Source is existence. Cause is bliss. Cause is intelligence. You have to come to this conclusion only. For that only everything is used, expressed. If you are misinterpreting, you are misinterpreting. You are missing it. The truth is source is bliss. Cause is bliss. Cause is intelligence. So now, the today's thought trend for Vada Pradivada, sacred secret for Vada Pradivada is create sentences where the self means individual self and the self means higher self. And you yourself create the confusing statements and clarifying statements. And understand the final conclusion is, however it might have been expressed, the essence is cause is intelligence. Source is intelligence. Source is bliss. Source is existence. Now, sit with this one truth. I bless you all. Let you all experience, achieve, live, express, radiate, and share the eternal bliss, Nityananda.